In today's video, we're gonna talk about my professional video equipment. In the last couple of years, I've been getting tons of questions from you guys asking me like what kind of video cameras I'm using to record these kinds of videos. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the equipment that I'm using for our video agency where we're shooting high quality commercials for big name brands such as BMW, for example. So I'm just gonna walk you through that. So in case you are interested in, filmmaking equipment, then this video is gonna be perfect for you. And in case you just enjoy gear videos, then this is also gonna be awesome for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get started. Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, welcome. Super excited to have you. My name is Julian. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a content creator, and I help people make better videos and turn that into a business, and also how you can market yourself. So in case you're interested in all that kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So without any further ado, let's go into the filmmaking equipment that I'm using to make these kinds of videos that you can see right now. And I would say let's actually kick things off with the cameras itself. And the camera that you can see that's recording myself right now, this is the main camera that we're using in our business. This is the Canon C70. I can still remember when we purchased it back then. We were just starting out. Back then I couldn't even afford the camera itself, so I was leasing the camera, and yeah, it's an absolute beast of a camera. Has built-in ND filter, like 16 stops of dynamic range, 4K 120 raw internal recording, so an absolute beast. The batteries last forever, so I absolutely love that camera, and that is the main camera that I'm using most of the time. The lens that I'm using, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later because I want to move over to the next couple of cameras. This camera that you can this one here. This is a Canon R5C, and we got that I think in 2023, and this is like such an awesome camera because I love the hybrid thing of having a photo and a video camera, because many clients want photos and videos at the same time, and just having the option to have both in one camera is just absolutely awesome. I love using that. The only downside, or maybe the only two downsides of the R5C, is the internal battery life, like the small LP6 batteries. If you're shooting 4K 60 frames, you're running out of battery within 40 minutes or so. And the second downside is no internal built-in ND filter. What I have on this camera though, I do have an ND filter. It's just like this adapter to Canon EF lenses, so that is very awesome. And in case you want to see what the R5C looks like, it looks exactly like this because we happen to have two of them. So the main camera is the Canon C70, B camera is a Canon R5C with a V-mount battery, and then the C camera, or however you want to call it, sometimes it's also the A cam, also an R5C, exactly the same setup. Yeah, and this is with the battery grip, and I'm using this one all of the time on the gimbal. The image of the R5C is just so damn crispy. Yep, absolutely love that setup. The camera that I have been using to kickstart my filmmaking career, and that I still have, in my heart, and I'm probably never ever gonna sell that, even though I'm not using it that much, is this camera right here. This is the Canon 1DX Mark II with the full frame sensor. Yeah, back then this was the camera to have as a YouTuber, like the Peter McKinnon, Parker Wallback, all of these guys were using that. I bought that camera when it was not cool anymore. I bought it I think in 2019 or so. Even though up until this day in 2025, the image quality, the 4K image that you can get, even though it does have a crop, is just so damn crispy. I absolutely love it. And yeah, sometimes I'm using that, but this is more like a C or D cam these days. So these are the type of cameras that we're using, and it's just very nice having all Canon, especially the Canon Cinema series like the C70 and the R5C. It's just very awesome to have that flexibility so that I can swap out the lenses. Talking about lenses, the one that I'm using on this C70 right now, this is a 20mm Sigma Art lens. It's kind of a big lens, but I absolutely love that. And I keep saying that because it's just the equipment that we bought over the last couple of years, and it's just it's a dream setup, to be honest. If I just remembering back then when I was younger, when I was 15, 16, just imagine back then having a setup like I do have right now. That would just be an absolute dream for myself, and it still is also these days. But it's 20mm Sigma Art lens f1.4. It's also what creates this really cool depth of field effect, blurry background, nice blurry background, even though it's a very wide angle lens, because I'm not super far away from the lens. You can see I can actually could touch it. So yeah, just a really cool lens. On the R5C right here, this is also a Sigma art lens. You will see that I love Sigma art lenses. This is a 24mm lens with a cloud diffusion filter, and this is like very similar to the 20mm, but it does have the big upside that you can also add filters. And you can see this is going to be the next lens that I'm going to show you. This is the 35mm, also from Sigma, also 1.4. All of these lenses are f1.4 because I like to have the shallow depth of field, the blurry background. So for that, it's just perfect. One lens I forgot to mention that should have been the first one, that's this lens right here. This is the 16mm Canon RF. I think that's the only RF lens that I have. It's awesome for shooting on the gimbal, for shooting some real estate stuff. I did that recently. Just a very wide angle lens. f2.8, it's not like super crazy good for low light, but good enough. And it's just like, it weighs like basically nothing. Like comparing that to the 20mm, for example, like I think that's over 1 kilograms, and that's like, I don't know, 200 grams or something like this. So these are that lenses. Going on in the spectrum, the 50mm is the next one after the 35. Also again, Sigma art. I'm a sucker for these Sigma art lenses. Like they're just so crispy, so sharp. I love using primes because, again, as I mentioned, I love to have the shallow depth of field, having the blurry background. Also comparing the prices of these Sigma arts versus the Canon L lenses or the new Canon RF lenses. Like they are so crazy expensive, and these are like half the price, maybe a third of the price of the Canon lenses. And I think when it comes to the sharpness and the crispiness, to be honest, like it's not a big deal, or not a big difference, if any at all. Next up in my arsenal is a lens from Canon, an 85mm lens. Also a lens that I very much love, especially for second angles whenever I'm doing interviews. This is not an L series lens. This is like the, what is it called? The supersonic motor or ultrasonic motor. But very, very crispy lens. I very much love that, as I mentioned, for a second angle whenever we're doing interviews. There is this saying that we're never actually saying to our clients, but basically everything and everyone looks good with the 85. So in case you're in a crappy environment and you cannot set up lights properly and stuff, just use the 85. Everybody's gonna look good there. I do also have one, like that's a massive lens that's also over 1 kilogram. This is not the only one, but one of the 2 zoom lenses that I have. This is the also Sigma Art 24-70, a very versatile lens, especially when I'm shooting outdoors events and stuff where I don't know exactly like what's gonna happen. This is very versatile because you have 24mm for a wide angle shot, but you can also zoom in up to 70mm to get some close-up shots and shoot some portraits. I wish it was 2.0, 1.8, something like this. But even though, yeah, it's like even at 2.8, it's such a heavy lens. Like if you compare these 2 lenses, it's like a night and day difference. This one is like so heavy and big. Yeah, I do like that. To be honest, I'm not using that very often because whenever I can, I'm using the prime lenses. Just to, mention that, I don't know if you're interested, but my main combination for running gun filmmaking when I don't know exactly what's gonna happen is Canon R5C in this setup right here with the battery grip and the 35mm Sigma Art. Like that combination is just a dream combination because on one side it's still wide enough to capture like wider shots in case I need, and it's also close enough to get a very nice shallow depth of field and to film people as well. So I absolutely love that. Then going on, the last lens that I have right here, it's this bad boy. I'm sure you've seen that before. That's the 70-200mm f4. I'm also not using that very often. There is a podcast that we're shooting where we're using that, and like outdoors whenever I'm, from time to time I'm recording some sports, that's when we're using that, but I'm not using that very often. And also for car commercials, the 70-200 is also very handy. So these are the couple of lenses that we have. I do have a couple, like 2 vintage lenses, like old Canon FD lenses, but I'm not very much using them. It's just like, whenever I'm bored with the modern gear. Going on to the gimbal, this is also one that I'm using very, very often. This is the DJI RS3 Pro. Where is it? RS3 Pro, that's where you can see that. It has this carbon fiber, material thingy. It's a very, very good gimbal, to be honest. When 3-axis gimbals were a thing when they came up, for the longest time I have been a glide cam user. I never liked the 3-axis gimbals, and I just thought like it was like looking very electronic and not super nice. So this has been the first gimbal that convinced me, and ever since I got the DJI RS3 Pro, we also got the regular RS3, because when we're filming with the R5C without the battery grip, then that setup is like super lightweight, especially if you're also pairing that with a 16mm lens. So that's also an awesome setup. So we have both of them also in case Alex and myself were filming at the same time. Then we're just using both of these RS3s that we have. So that's the gimbal of choice. I'm using that very, very often. I'm a sucker for these very beautiful shots, especially also our clients love that. And that's how you can get that very, that wow effect for people. So very, very often using the 3-axis gimbal. Talking about nice images, something that is also very, very important is clean audio. Something that I have started using just recently a lot more often, especially for jobs where there's a lot of stress and you cannot plan out everything, and it's just a thing of like, yeah, here we can record and we just need to be ready super fast. I'm actually using the DJI Mic Mini right now. And by the way, like nobody's sponsoring this video. I bought all of that myself, and I'm saying like everything that I'm saying is as always my true opinion. But yeah, just recently we have been traveling through France, and yeah, we have been filming, like here we are filming and there we're filming. So it was just like run and gun and just being super spontaneous. And the DJI Mic Mini is just like an awesome companion because you also have a windscreen, you can just pop it on. I think the sound is also really good. In case you want to film with 2 people, you just take out the second transmitter out of the box. It connects automatically. So it's obviously not the most professional gear in the entire world, but when it comes to like the easiness of use and the practicality, or however it's called, I don't know, I think it's like on the top of the list for me personally. I do also have the DJI Mic 2 Pro, or is it just the Mic 2? I don't know. That one is the one that also can record internally, and this one also can record in 32-bit float audio, which is also really awesome in case you cannot like monitor your audio properly. Also very cool. I just think when it comes to the internal recording quality, I like the DJI Mic Mini 2 better. Like on this trip to France, I have been using both, so I think that just sounds better, to be honest. But yeah, for more professional stuff, like when I'm also using a lav mic, I cannot attach that to the DJI Mic Mini, and in case I want to have double security, I'm also always using that one because I can record internally as well. I have also been using, or I am still using, the Hollyland Lark Max, the Hollyland Lark M2. I also just recently got the Hollyland Lark MS2, M2S, something like this. All of them are really good, to be honest. You just need to be comfortable with the gear that you have. Like that's one thing that I can give you on the go, is like you need to be comfortable with the gear that you have. It doesn't make any sense to have all of the gear in the world if you don't know what you're doing and how to use it. Like just use the things that you have and learn how to use them properly. Talking about clean audio, in case I want to get the cleanest audio possible, then I'm using this microphone right here. This is the Rode NTG3. This is an XLR mic that I can only use with the Canon C70, or I can also use it with like the Rodecaster Duo, obviously. But this creates like a sound that is on a completely different level. Like if you compare them side by side, is the current sound coming from the Hollyland Lark Max? Is it coming from the DJI mic? And just as a comparison, I'm also recording the sound with my shotgun microphone that I'm mostly using when I'm recording videos like this. The sound is just a lot fuller and a lot nicer. But obviously, if you're traveling and on the go and you're just by yourself and you do not have an audio guy with you, using something like this is just not an option, to be honest. And talking about clear audio, like whenever we're in the studio and recording podcasts for ourselves or the YouTube videos, or also for our clients, this is the Shure SM7B. I love that. And then on the other side, I also have the Rode Pod mic. If you compare them side by side, like this one sounds a bit thin, to be honest, and the SM7B has like this very warm and nice and rich sound. So whenever I can, I do use the SM7B. So now we have cameras, we have lenses, and we have audio. That's like we have covered most things already. Maybe one thing is this filter right here from Moment is a mist filter. I'm also using one on this camera right here. That's why the highlights here from this light are a bit bloomy. That's what this filter creates. And then the only thing that I want to talk about is lights, because I think lighting is something that very often gets overlooked. And I'm not like the best cinematographer and lighter and stuff, but I'm just gonna talk about some of the lights that we're using. We have the Aperture 120D. It's actually the one behind me right here with a light dome. Again, this was at a similar time when I got the 1DX Mark II. Back then, this was like, you know, I put in all of my savings into like a basic video gear setup just so that I can offer clients to make videos for them. This light that I'm using right here to light myself right now is the Godox SL60. It's like a very basic light that we just have here in the studio all of the time. So we're not using that for clients. Then we also have the Amaran 60S, which is in our light bag. An awesome light. It has like more or less a similar light output to the 120D. It's just a lot smaller. You don't need to have that external brick, and it's just awesome. Like we're always traveling with that. I really much love that. Then we have a small Scion Molus 60S, I think it's called. We're oftentimes using that as a backlight. And then what you can see behind me, this is the Amaran T4C tube light. Also, like I keep on repeating myself, but this is just such an awesome light. Ever since we got that at the end of last year, I think, for every shoot, like without any exception, when we had the opportunity, we have been using that. It's full RGB, the light quality is amazing. The internal battery, or like the battery grip that you can attach to this, especially for running gun filmmaking, like we're oftentimes using that I'm filming with the R5C, the 35mm, like that setup that I showed you before. And then Alex is walking with me with the tube light to light up the people. Such an awesome combination. I really, really love that. Then when it comes to the tripods, I'm just using small rig tripods. I love small rig parts. We also have a cage here on the R5C, also a small rig V-mount battery. Then we have, when it comes to monitors, we're using the Atomos Ninja 5 I have on here. This is the Shinobi 2, excuse me. These are the monitors that we're using. We're not using them all of the time, just whenever we can. Yeah, that is basically the video equipment that we have. I obviously also have a CPL filter. I'm not using that super often. Yeah, a couple of other filters here and there, but to be honest, like this is the setup that we're using for most of the things. I'm just checking my notes right here. We do also have a slider that we're also not using very often. Sometimes occasionally for, you know, for like an interview or so, that's when we're using that. But what you can see here, this is mainly what we're using. And also these days, like the 1DX basically never ever travels with us anymore. We can fit all of that into two bags or trolleys that we can also take with us on airplanes. That was very important for us because, like, don't put your expensive video gear into the regular bag that you put into the freight room of the airplane. I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. So that's an overview over my video equipment. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you have some questions about it. I'm very much looking forward to getting your thoughts on all of this. Maybe when it comes to the mediums that we're using to store all of that, like for the C70 we're using these SD cards, mostly 228 gigabyte cards, and for the R5Cs we have 512 gigabyte cards, but I think I currently do not have anyone here. And also in the 1DX I also have a 512 gigabyte card. So, and that's one more thing that I forgot to show you. This is like the second, the DJI Mic Mini 2. It's like pretty empty right now because I'm using it right now. And this is what you have been hearing throughout the video. But there you have it, guys. Let me know what you think about it. Comment down below. Huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.